Going on, everyone? It is amazing how quickly things can change in the NBA, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, or at least it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It'll actually be 3 months to the day tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this video, March 9th, because the game between the Lakers and the Pacers, in which they won the end-season tournament championship, took place December 9th. So 3 months ago, roughly, the Los Angeles Lakers won the end-season tournament, first ever. They also were 5 games over 500 and really looked like a team that was headed to the promised land, right? It was like, oh man, this team's going to be fighting for top 3 seed, right? Lakers are looking really good, just won the end-season tournament, time to go get the Larry O'Brien. And that was kind of the idea. That was kind of the direction. And they went the complete opposite, right? They just went down, and they went down quick. And now the Lakers are in this position where they are currently the 10th seed in the NBA Western Conference. They are currently, at best, a game and a half out of the 8th seed, which that is very doable, but they have a much tougher schedule compared to the Warriors and the Mavericks. They just lost to the Kings. They just lost to the Suns. They keep losing these very crucial, very important games, right? It's like every time we need the Lakers to show up and play big, guess what? They end up messing it up and end up shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. And now the Lakers are currently sitting 4 games over 500 with a very tough slate of games coming up. And there's a big question and just concern going around, like, of the season's over. A lot of just fans in general are ready to pack it up. Pack it in. Let me begin. Sorry. No, but in all seriousness, a lot of fans are really just, they look at it as like, you know, hey, it's a wash, the 10th seed, right? Even if the Lakers do climb, the Lakers are just very unserious, which I get. And I do have the same frustrations. Now, I am a little bit more on the optimistic side, as I'm sure if you're familiar with the channel the last, 2 years, year and a half. Same thing last year. I was very like, let's wait and see, let things play out. Even when people were telling me, oh, you're delusional, you're this, you're that, the other, I just said, we'll see. One of us will be right? And it's not so much anything other than, like, I have grown and watched enough sports throughout my life, particularly basketball, to know nothing really is over until it's over, right? Sports in general are a very bizarre thing, right? Like, just when you think something, oh, this isn't going to happen, boom, all of a sudden it happens. Lakers just, for whatever reason, start figuring it out, or they get healthy, or, they go on a nice little streak, or a team just starts falling, the wheels keep falling off. Like, look at Dallas. Dallas is starting, the wheels seem to be falling off a little bit, or, a key injury, something like that to another team. There are so many different variables that can happen and take place, in which could benefit the Lakers. Now, there are just as many that could go the other way for the Lakers. Knock on wood, hopefully none of those things happen. But that's my thing of, like, instead of living in this moment, instead of like the major pendulum swing that I always talk about, let's just wait and see how things unfold. If they're the 10th seed, then they're the 10th seed and we see how it goes. Even if they are the 10th seed, there's still a possibility that they win 2 straight games. Now, am I super confident in the Lakers to do that? No. But I'm not ready to write the Lakers off. And look, there's already heavy talk about the offseason in many ways, right? From the Lakers getting another star, Donovan Mitchell, Trey Young, right? Trey is running around doing all these interviews and stuff. And, he's saying he wants to stay in Atlanta, but it's the company man answer, right? Like, what is he supposed to say? Nah, Atlanta's trash, get me out of here. Like, no. And he doesn't have control over it, right? He's under contract. So it's not like he can he can try, but it doesn't mean that Atlanta has to trade him, right? We obviously know about the DeJounte Murray thing, which I still am in the camp of they should have just traded Austin Reeves to go get him. That was me personally, especially the way D'Lo's shooting the basketball. You could easily slot him over to the 2, but again, that's neither here nor there. A lot of talk heavy on the Lakers potentially looking for another star in the offseason, that they need to get that other guy to kind of help LeBron, help AD, kind of offset their struggles at times and get a consistent just scorer, right? Somebody that they can just put the ball in his hands and just he can go to work at a high elite level, which would be very nice. There's also, of course, the Darin Ham factor, right? And I mean, this is one of two ways, right? There's the off-season factor where people are super excited and like, I can't wait to get into the off-season and get that headline and get that news that Darin Ham has been fired, because he has been terrible this season. He's been very bad this year. And you know, the chances are that if the Lakers have a lackluster season this year, that they're not going to bring him back. Now, there is always the possibility of, like, what if the Lakers do make the conference finals again? Right? Like, let's say they get into the 7th seed, right? And, you know, they win the first in-season tournament game and they get the 7th seed, and let's say they play, you know, the Thunder. Boom. They win the first round. Say they play Minnesota, which I think that they could beat Minnesota. Boom, they beat Minnesota. And now all of a sudden they play Denver in the conference finals. And let's say they lose to Denver. Still, do the Lakers look at it and go, well, Darin Ham is 2 for 2 in conference finals, and the only team that we keep losing to is Denver. So maybe it's not Darin Ham. Maybe we just need to structure that. It's something to keep in mind. Now, if the Lakers miss the playoffs or like their first round exit or they lose ugly again, then I could see Darin Ham being on his way out. So it kind of is one of those things like, you know, you as a fan, and of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But, you know, it's kind of one of those questions where it's like, if you're in the camp of fire Darin Ham, do you even want the Lakers to have real success? Because the more success that they have, the more likely it is that they keep Darin Ham. Now, to me, I am of the mindset I'd rather the Lakers win the NBA championship and they keep Darin Ham for another year or two than us pack it away and we may never win an NBA championship. Now, nothing's guaranteed, of course, but I'm saying, like, you know, there's a lot of people that I think if you told them, hey, you're going to win a championship this year with Darin Ham, but you're going to have to keep Darin Ham another, like, 3 years or whatever. There's a lot of people that'd be like, forget the championship, just get rid of Darin Ham, where I'm of the mindset, like, I would rather, I want the success. Like, you could go and replace Darin Ham and get a top-tier coach and still never win a championship. I mean, look at some of these top-tier, look at a guy like Eric Spoelstra. Since LeBron's left, right, he's been to the finals a couple times, he hasn't won it. Right? It's just, again, it's very hard to win an NBA championship. The other factor that I talked about is the current, like, season standpoint of, can the Lakers overcome Darin Ham at times? Now, it's not all on Darin Ham. It's not all Darin Ham's fault that the Lakers are in this lackluster position, but he is a big part of it. And he hasn't been doing the Lakers any favors. He has not been very good by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I am still a firm believer in the players are the guys that are still having to play. They're the ones that are getting beat, like Austin Reeves getting beat on the defensive side of things every single possession, right? Like, take some pride in that, figure that out, right? Hitting shots, taking care of the basketball, not turning it over, committing fouls, failure to rebound. There's a lot of things that it doesn't matter who the coach is. The players still have to show up and deliver, right? But the coach definitely does have a factor. That's why there are coaches in the NBA. You still need coaches for a plethora of reasons. Darin Ham has not been good in any of those capacities. So I definitely think he is a bit of a challenge. But we saw last year in the postseason, things get very simplified for him in the postseason, and it allows him to have a little more success. I did a whole rant video on this specifically, so go check that out. It's my video about Darin Ham not understanding structures. So if you kind of want a more in-depth breakdown on what I just mentioned, then go check out that video, because I don't want to dwell too much on Darin Ham. But, you know, obviously, again, he's a obstacle currently, just based on his rotations and the way he's kind of gone about the season. That is a real factor for the Lakers and the impact. But again, at the end of the day, give me a healthy LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the postseason. Because once you get to the playoffs, if you get to the playoffs, right, the Lakers are going to lean a lot more heavy on these two. And they're going to elevate, and they're going to try to kind of get and be more in the forefront, right? Where, you see LeBron, he's just kind of coasting at times. Anthony Davis, yeah, he's kind of can be hot and cold at times. I just expect these two to kind of elevate more, which then again, rising tides, raise all ships type thing. And now everybody's improving and playing better. And then you got guys like Rui and hopefully a Gabe Vincent, and Jared Vanderbilt's healthy, and a Spencer Dinwiddie, and a D'Lo, and a Reeves, and all these guys that have had, playoff experience and have had playoff success. And some of these guys have even elevated and play better in the playoffs than they do in the regular season. So my thing is like, give me the chance, right? Give me the puncher's chance. Because I think that's what it ultimately is, right? Like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and D'Angelo Russell, all dealing with a significant foot injury, were able to get to the conference finals last year. What happens if these guys are like relatively healthy? Right? Like LeBron James supposedly needed surgery. We still don't know if he ever got surgery or not, but he was supposed to get it at some point. And Anthony Davis was not supposed to be playing at all. And D'Lo even missed time leading into the playoffs because of the injuries. And we were able to get to the conference finals. And I think they match up against pretty much everybody except for Denver and apparently Sacramento. Those are the two teams that we struggle with. But my thing is just get in, right? And I've seen people, let's like avoid Denver at all costs, like, but the problem with that is like there's no guarantee, right? Like you could end up. You might think that Denver's going to land the 3 seed, so you like get into the play-in, and then you lose the play-in, and now you don't even have a chance. And it's like, to me, at least if you play Denver, you have a chance. Where if you end up missing the playoffs, you now have 0 chance, right? But also another thing is like, let's say you think that Denver's going to get the 3 spot, so you jump down to the play-in tournament. Let's say they end up with the 2 spot. And so now what? How far do you take it? So now what? Are you throwing an in-season tournament game just to avoid Denver? Like, it's silly. Put anyone in front of us. If we're good enough, then we're going to beat them. If we're not, then guess what? We weren't meant to win the NBA championship, but we weren't good enough. Right? My thing is like, you got to beat the best to be the best. And I want to see the Lakers beat the best. Again, I have faith. I'm optimistic. Would I bet on it? No. Right? Would I sell the farm to try to make it up? No, I would not. But I do think that it is a possibility. I do think that the Lakers have at least a puncher's chance. But those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think season's a wrap? Do you think no? It'll be okay. Lakers will figure this out. We'll get through it. Get on a stretch here. Again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.